guess what? I am here with my entire Michael Jackson book and magazine collection. I'm super excited because I know a lot of you guys wanted to see this, so I'm going to share this with you guys. And today we are actually collaborating with my friend Georgia. She's a Michael Jackson YouTuber as well, so I'm excited to introduce you guys to my stuff and also introduce you to her channel as well. So let's get into it without further ado. You are now watching MJ Fangirl TV.
Girl, you got to
Alright you guys, so before we get started, again, like I said, this is a collaboration with me and my good friend Georgia. She actually has her own Michael Jackson YouTube channel and she's showing you guys her book and magazine collection as well. I would love to tell you guys about her channel, but I think it's probably better if you hear it from her herself. Here's Georgia.
Hi, I'm Georgia and today I'm collaborating with MJ Fangirl TV. I have watched her since I can't even remember how old, it's just been a very, very long time. I look up to MJ Fangirl and I'm going to be showing you my Michael Jackson book magazine collection. So if you want to come and see my book collection, come over to my channel, I'm Georgia Duh. But before you do that, watch this video first.
Alright guys, so let's get into it. So I think I'm going to start with the magazines first since they're right here. So first I have this Vibe magazine. This I believe is from 1995. This is a classic. You know, who doesn't love the Michael Jackson in, I forgot even what he's wearing, but I know he's got like some FUBU on, some classic. This is a classic hip-hop staple magazine. I love the Michael Jackson spread. Here he is with Quincy Jones in the background, who was also in charge. He was also, I believe, one of the founders of Vibe magazine with his daughter. I think this is Kidada, one of his daughters. There's got a quote from Lisa Marie Presley. It's really, really nice. I love this magazine and I fought tooth and nail for this on eBay back in the day, and yeah, my favorite magazine in my collection, hands down. A US magazine, Our Brothers Michael. This is kind of like a tabloid, but I don't know why I have it. But anyway, it's all ripped up. This is a Mojo Magazine. This is from December of 2001. This is like around the Invincible era this came out, and I really, really do love like just the pictures and stuff, and the article is not the greatest, but I like how it goes over some of his earlier recordings here. They talk about like the Jackson 5. So cool magazine, not so cool article. So this is a People magazine from February of 1984, right after his Pepsi accident when his hair caught on fire. This is basically just explaining the story and what happened, and it shows him with the bandage over his head. So I picked this up on eBay years ago as well. This is an article from Condé Nast. It was about some of his items being on auction, and I just have it in this like little file folder. This is a book called Forever Love. This is like a children's book by Brenda Jenkins, and it's really cute. You know, it talks about how he hosted thousands of sick kids at Neverland. It's got cute illustrations. Oh, it has him hugging Jesus. That's cute. So yeah, it's a nice book. I'm not sure, I believe I received that as a gift as well. This is a magazine, Michael's World from Newsweek. This is from September 1993. It says, is he dangerous or just off the wall? Frankly, I'm not sure. I think it's a question for the ages. I've got this XXL magazine. Am I the only one that bought like, so this is a gift from one of my friends, but am I the only one that like bought a lot of those like tribute type of magazines after he passed? This is a People tribute, Remembering Michael. Now this is one of my favorites because it has beautiful pictures. It has amazing like recap of his life. Like what I love about a lot of these is that like these tribute articles, when he first passed away, it was a lot of like Michael in his own words, which I love because I feel like when someone passes away, it's sometimes hard to like remember them beyond like your own scope of like how you experience them, you know? But like to see like Michael in so many different eras here and him talking about himself and his own experiences, and you know, even here they show him visiting the White House and here with Frank Sinatra. like Lady Diana. Like it was a beautiful tribute, and I recommend this to you guys. If you are looking for any Michael Jackson tribute magazines, I would recommend this one. And I'm also going to show you another one that I love. This is the MIQO Ebony tribute, Michael Jackson in his own words. And you guys probably know that this is one of the last photo shoots that he did. I'm gonna actually show you the Ebony Magazine because I think I have it in this. So this is another Ebony issue. I think this is just, it says commemorative issue, and this is a special tribute issue. So again, this is a regular Ebony Magazine, but they've got a lot of pages here dedicated to Michael Jackson, which I think is beautiful. You got the picture of his children. This is Panorama Pepsi-Cola International. It looks like it's like almost like a company booklet, but they talk about the Dangerous tour somewhere in here, and that's why, yeah, I picked this up for a reason. So this talks about Michael Jackson spells excitement, boosts Pepsi's image, fuels worldwide growth. So again, you know, I know a lot of fans don't like to talk about Pepsi, but this was a monumental kind of endorsement, monumental for Michael Jackson to work with them, monumental for them to work with Michael Jackson. And if you're interested in like hearing me talk about the business side of Michael Jackson, because that's something else that really interests me, let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to delve into that, because I think a lot of times people don't talk enough about Michael Jackson the businessman. He deserves a lot of credit for the way that he he molded his artistry, he molded his personality and his persona for the public, and I think that he was genius in so many ways, and that's also one of them. This is the headliner. This is actually interesting because this is like, oh, I forgot that I had this. Crazy. This is like a little booklet from the Radio City Music Entertainment Center, but again, I did go to the concerts in 2001 in Madison Square Garden, so I'm not sure why this is a Radio City booklet. This is a People magazine, his life in pictures. It's got 2 covers, so I can show you here. I have a Newsweek, The Meaning of Michael, which was July 13, 2019. This actually makes me sad, you guys, going through these, because I'm like, oh my gosh, Michael passed away. Entertainment Weekly, A New Look at This Is It. This is also probably from 2009. Yes, October 2009. Another collector's edition magazine. We've got so many of these, you guys. The reason why I like this one, I remember, is because it had really cool articles about different things. So this was like making the greatest music video of all time. They talked to Michael Bush about his costuming. They talk about his greatest hits. They talk about his touring. Like, this is the type of comprehensive recognition that our icon deserves, so I love that. Another People, Michael's life in photos. Oh, here's a GQ magazine. The big fall style issue, when Michael was cool, which he still is cool, so I kind of resent that title. Comment down below if you're also guilty of like just picking up whatever Michael Jackson stuff and then you're like, oh wait, this is not nice, and then you're like, dang, I have this magazine, what do I do with it? This is a Right On magazine. They were always in support of Michael Jackson since the beginning, since the Jackson 5 days. Okay, here's another collector's issue. Tribute to the King of Pop. Ooh, these are books. Here's the Ebony Magazine, one of my favorites. Iconic, December 2007. I was living in Japan at that time, so I had my parents actually ship this to me. Express, because I was like, I need this in my life, and little did I know how precious it would become. This actually is probably my favorite out of this entire collection. I said that the other vibe was, but I think this vibe is because it reminds me of like high school and like coming of age and like Michael Jackson and just all the amazing things about the Invincible era. Moving on. I don't know what this is because it has no cover. Alright, so this is a US Weekly, but I'm not even going to show it to you guys because it's kind of tabloidy. Here's another New York tabloidy thing. I don't even know why I have some of this. Rolling Stone, Michael Jackson. Is this in Spanish? This is in Spanish, you guys. How cool. I think my friend Jeff gave this to me. So cool. Alright, we're almost down to the end of the magazines. We've got People, his life in pictures, and then we've got the special commemorative edition of Time magazine. And in the back, there's an ad by Pepsi that says you will always be the king of pop. Okay, so let's get into my tiny magazines and then we're gonna move on to the books. Alright, so here's my collection of TV guides. Or is it? Yeah, I have like several of the same. This is the same issue, but different covers. This is an issue from 1999, which I wasn't the hugest fan of, like the photo shoot here, but I love the content. I love how he talks about, this is like a countdown of the top 100 videos of all time. I love how he talks about Thriller and some of the things that he's looking forward to doing in the future. Alright, we're down to the last two. This is from the 90s, obviously, 1992. Is the TV movie on the Jackson family a whitewash? Okay, no comment. I actually love the movie, so I'm not gonna even comment or open that, but that was TV Guide at the time. And then one of my favorite, cutest little magazines here, it's the Disney Adventures magazine with the 25 things that you probably did not know about Michael Jackson. But if you read it as a fan that's watching my channel, you probably know all of these things about Michael Jackson. But nevertheless, let's take a look inside. Number 4, Michael Jackson is a serious reader. When he was a teenager, some of his favorite books were Rip Van Winkle by Washington Irving, Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach, and The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. If you can't afford to travel, Michael says, you can travel mentally through books. And I think that's a perfect segue into my books. I'm not gonna go too much into depth because I like to do specific videos about books. So I just want to show you guys plain and simple my collection. So let me move some of this stuff over here and let's get started. So the first book is gonna be this book by Stuart Reagan. It is kind of like, it's like a picture book with like some text in it. Very cool because this is a book obviously from the 80s. I don't see the exact date that it came out. Let's see if I can find it. But I like, yeah, 1984. I like to read these kinds of books and just look back because they speak from a different perspective of not retrospect, but like in the moment. So very, very cool. This is the Michael Jackson by Arno Bunny, like photo book. I'm not that big of a fan. I received this as a gift and I'm super grateful, but I'm not like the biggest fan of these pictures. This is one of my favorite books of all time. This is Michael Jackson, the visual documentary. This is like a timeline of the history of Michael Jackson. Up next is, I went to the official exhibition after Michael passed away in Tokyo. They first had it at the O2 and then they had it in Tokyo. So this is the program for some of the items that were there. The Leave Me Alone jet where he was rocking back and forth, chairs from Scream, a smaller history statue, gloves, outfits from This Is It, Neverland, signage, some cars. There were a lot of Michael Jackson items there that they showed, and this book is really cool. Again, I saw this in Tokyo Tower. I believe it was like in 2010 or 11. So I purchased this in Japanese because I'm a student of the language and I thought I would study, and I really haven't, but that's besides the point. Very cool find. This is a book called Michael Jackson, the One and Only. This is a tribute book. Again, one of those books that goes over his life with quotes from other people. This is Michael Jackson, picture book for kids. Actually, I should open this because I'm so curious to know what's inside, and I don't know why it's wrapped up like this. This is like in freaking good condition, you guys. It's like shiny. Oh, this is cool. Let me turn it this way. I feel like I'm a teacher now. Came out in 1984. Oh my gosh, you guys. Dang. This is nice. Okay, this is by Robin Katz. The first time I met Michael Jackson. Nice. It's always a plus to like actually get a book made by someone that actually knows or has met Michael. Ooh, fancy. Oh my gosh, I actually love this book. Mostly pictures, but like little anecdotes next to pictures. I feel like this is like a 5th or 6th grade level. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe a little bit earlier. But I like this book. I'm gonna put this back in the wrapping. I'm gonna save this for like my kids when they get older. You wanna read about Michael Jackson? No, Mom, we hear about him every day already. So here is Another book that is in my collection that I treasure a lot. This is the Music Icons Julian Auctions book for that. This is a Jackson 5 Motown Anthology Piano and Vocal Chords. Ooh. This is Joe Jackson's book, Precious Moments. This is his book. I purchased it a little bit before he passed away. It actually doesn't have that many words in it. It's more of like a photo book, and it talks about like his different relationships with his kids and stuff. A lot more of the later years. He's got a picture with Paris and Blanket, and it's very sweet, you know. King of Style, excuse me, by Michael Bush, Dressing Michael Jackson. Here is The Making of Thriller. This is by Douglas Kirkland, and the coolest thing about this is this, like, I don't know if it's 3D or whatever it is, but it's like this thing where Michael goes from nice Michael to zombie Michael, nice Michael to zombie Michael, and it's really cool. Never Can Say Goodbye, Catherine's Archives. A lot of people don't know about this, but Catherine Jackson wrote a book. And there was also a DVD, and it was really good, and she had lots of never-before-seen pictures in here. And this is one of my favorites, and I don't know why. Like, all the brothers in black here, really, really iconic. This is a book called Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. It's an illustrated book. Let's see the inside. I think I have I have two versions of this. I have two versions. I got a small version and a big one. Not sure why, but I do. I have this book, Humanitarian by Paul Dwyer. Go out and get this book if you're a Michael Jackson fan and you want to know about Michael Jackson and what he did for the world. Now let's go to the little books down here while I'm in this section. Mark Bago, this is Michael by Mark Bago. This is On the Road with Michael, also by Mark Bago. Books are really important to read if you're interested in how Michael was received in the 80s. This is like, and how, not only how he was received, you know, but what the future, what everybody was expecting of him. This is Michael Jackson, The Jackson Family, A Complete Guide to the Music by Jeff Brown. This is another book, The Jacksons, My Family, or My Family, The Jacksons, excuse me, by Katherine Jackson, Michael Jackson's mother. This is the book that American Dream was based upon. A lot of people don't know that, so I like it. It's got some Jackson Family tea in here too if you're interested in any of that. The Michael Jackson Story by Nelson George. The Totally Unauthorized Michael Jackson Trivia book. I got this as a birthday present, and I actually enjoyed doing trivia with you guys a few times with this book. So leave me a comment down below if you want to see some more of that. Michael Jackson Treasures. This book is cool because it actually features like some pages that have, I don't know how to explain it, but it's, let's see, memorabilia and photos. So they're like reproductions of certain things. So on that page, I think this was a press release from CBS about Thriller. In the Studio with Michael Jackson by Bruce Bodine. Very technical, talks a lot about being in the studio with Michael Jackson on the 3 albums, or actually more of the albums, excuse me. He worked on with Michael on Off the Wall, Thriller, Dangerous, Bad History, Invincible, Victory, and The Wiz, so he's got a lot of insight. Go and check that out if you're interested in any of that. Michael Jackson, Dancing the Dream. This is Michael Jackson, which is another picture book which my kids will be forced to read because this is like 2nd grade, 3rd grade reading level. Oh yeah, we're saving that for the future. So the visual documentary, this is an earlier version of the book that I just showed you. Again, very cool timeline. Let's Make History by Bryce Nahar. Very, very cool book. I have a video about this. Alright, Michael Jackson Before He Was King by Todd Gray. The Jacksons Legacy. You must go and get this book if you guys want to know anything about the Jacksons. This is Memories of the Brothers. It interviews all of the brothers. Well, excuse me, it doesn't interview all of them. It's Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon. Whenever they discuss a certain topic, they will pull from his autobiography, which of course is right here. This is Michael Jackson's autobiography, Moonwalk. Everybody should go out and get this. If you have not read this, I highly recommend it. It's not going to be like some really, really detailed thing about his life, but he does talk a lot in generalities, but I also find that Michael addresses some things that we never really remember that he actually addressed. Like, he talks here about like recording songs on like the Jacksons album and on Destiny, and a lot of times when I was doing my album reviews, I would go back to Moonwalk and I would be like, oh, Michael felt that way about that song? Okay. Or yeah, this is why I like that song, or this is why I don't. It makes sense, because Michael didn't really feel like it was a Jackson's vibe. And yeah, so awesome, awesome book. I highly recommend this too. Here's the J. Randy Tarbarelli, very infamous book, The Magic, the Madness, the Whole Story. I personally like the version in the 90s that I read in the library when I was a kid. Don't know much about this one. I have it, but I have to be honest with you guys, I have not read the end because to me it's just too sad. And it's a lot of hearsay, but this is an iconic book. If you want to read about Michael Jackson from the beginning to the end, also pick this up, but you have to remember that you have to take everything with a grain of salt because these people were not there. And some of the stories that he tells, I'm like, how does he know that, you know? So you really have to take everything with a grain of salt, but if you do want to read about Michael Jackson, you might want to pick this up. Michael Jackson Behind the Mask. This is about Michael Jackson's body language and non-verbal communication. Really cool, interesting book. Remember the Time Protecting Michael Jackson in His Final Days, aka The Bodyguard book. The Michael Jackson Tapes. LaToya Jackson Starting Over. Shout out to LaToya. She was very, very kind when I met her. She signed my book here in this side. And then also here is Jermaine's book, and it's all marked up with all different post-its because he actually, he signed this, but then I used this for my article when I wrote an article on mjfangirl.com about the relationship between the brothers and about their kind of rivalry on Motown when they were both releasing back-to-back soul albums in conjunction with Jackson 5 albums. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely go check that out. I'll link that, I'll put the link to MJ Fangirl here. It's always here in the description box, and then you can just search Jermaine and that article will come up. I think you guys will enjoy it. So yeah, so that is my Michael Jackson book collection. Shout out to all of you guys who have been supporting the channel. I super duper appreciate you guys. Shout out to Georgia for doing this collaboration with me. Make sure you go and check her channel out. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.